was only for the night.
We're riding around the world to road test Ruffly gear in the K9 Moto Cockpit and to raise $100,000 for Girl Up. Every 6 months we tackle a new challenge. First was the Arctic Ocean, then the Darien Gap, and now we're aiming for the bottom of South America.
My heart is home with you.
Yesterday turned out to be a pretty terrible day in the end. We had a long flight back to Chile from Guatemala. Everything went really well. We arrived and we both had a dental's appointment and we went and we got that done. Everything went smoothly. Then we still had like a couple hours before our Airbnb was going to be ready. So we went and walked in this, it's in Chile and Santiago in Las Condes is like a really like nice area. And that's where the dentist was. And so we just went for to sit and talk. So we went on to this place. It was called the Swiss Bakery. And we sat on the outside table and we had 3 bags. We both had our backpacks, which were our carry-ons, and then we had one Ruffly tote bag where we had some additional stuff. And we took everything that we had and we put it like right behind Greg. The way that it looked on the patio is we were right beside where the door opened, and so there was a little space between us and a pillar. And so there was a little area, a little nook there where we could put our stuff. And so we put our stuff there. And it wasn't that busy, and we were right there with our things. While we were chatting and whatever, there was all of a sudden there was a building beside it, like right beside the pillar was the entrance to like an apartment complex, and there were people coming in and out like while we were there, and there was somebody who ended up like sitting right where the pillar is. We were on this side. On the other side of the pillar, there was a guy and he like just sat down. Well, we weren't sure what he was doing. We were like made a joke of it. Like, is he pooping there? Like, what the hell is he doing? But we just continued doing what we were doing. Didn't think anything of it. And then all of a sudden, like there was this big planter right in front of the pillar. And like it started to shake and we're like, why is he like shaking the tree? Like, what the hell is he doing? And lo and behold, like you could see him there on the ground. And as I think back to it, what he must have been doing was he shook the tree as a distraction and used his other hand to sort of reach for the backpack. So he got the closest backpack, which was mine. And I guess like it probably happened twice that the tree was shaking and sort of caught our attention. And I guess during that time he was able to pull it. He got up. It was this guy probably in his like early 30s, schlumpy guy. He had like longer black hair, unkept. He had a black shirt on and khakis, I guess, and overweight. And he just all of a sudden he like got up and like I could see that he was like just carrying 2 bags. Didn't think anything of it, 2 black bags, and then he walked on. Probably half an hour later, when we were about to leave, Greg was getting his things ready, and I said, Greg, where's my backpack? And we looked around, wasn't there. So all that time when the guy was like fussing around with the planter and whatever, he was stealing my backpack. So we saw it happen, and it makes me feel completely like terrible that I actually saw it, and like it 2 and 2 didn't put it together, didn't think about that like somebody could steal it that close to us and that brazenly too, because that was the other thing. It's like normally if there's a theft happening, it's like opportunistic. This guy like went out of his way and he did a really good job at it. So he got our stuff, and when we figured out that he took it, I tried thinking through what was in my bag. My laptop, which has stuff that's still saved on the desktop that hasn't gone up into the cloud, and my passport, which was in the front. I had my wallet on me because I had just used it, so it wasn't in the backpack. And the one thing that we didn't realize that we lost until just yesterday evening was the hard drive. I was carrying the hard drive with all of the content from down to Patagonia, all the new stuff. Because we just hadn't been in a place where the connection was strong enough and fast enough to be able to upload all that data, which was what we were going to do this coming week. So I was carrying the only copy of Down to Patagonia on it, and all of the footage from the GoPros, all of the iPhone footage that we had, the drone footage from basically leaving Bolivia and coming down here to Chile. So everything that we did on Route 40, that's all gone. Crossing into Chile, that's all gone. And it was really good stuff. So
I came here at about 6 o'clock this morning. This is more or less the neighborhood where the pin has been stationary this whole time since last night. It's now after 11, and it hasn't moved. It's here somewhere. So the way that the device works is if you get close enough to the laptop for it to get a Bluetooth or some other Wi-Fi signal coming off the phone, it should set it off to make a sound, and that's not happening. I've entered some people's houses with their permission and otherwise, and I have not captured a location, or I haven't captured the connection yet and been able to hear anything. So I'm running out of options. I've spoken to a number of neighbors now. I have basically ultimately offered a reward for the stuff, shown them sort of a picture of one of the notable things that was taken, and offered a reward, because at that point, that's the only way we'd even have a Hail Mary of a chance to get anything back. I'm not holding my breath even remotely, but you got to try it. And I had to come this morning, hoping beyond hope, but nothing's come of it. I've left a number with a few people, and now I think it's time we just got to move on and get on with getting on. On the way back to meet up with Jess at the shopping mall, where there's a Mac distributor store, I just on a whim thought about checking the Instagram, and buried deep in all of the nude and sex like porno stuff, there was one that said "Hola, pasaporte," and a photo of Jess's passport. So I got in touch, and the person took a while to respond, and finally has kind of been responsive, and at least says that he's a police officer, a carabinero, and that someone who was basically taking a shit in the street had the passport, and basically that's how they got it.
It makes no sense.
But then when we spoke to him briefly by phone, he's saying that he only has the passport, and that somebody who cleans the streets found it
in a garbage
can. So it may be that somebody who they kind of shook down or got on all over for shitting in the streets. This isn't a Spanish issue. This is an inconsistency of story issue. And that person is now apparently got the passport. So he says
supposedly he's a police officer, and he's at the first officer station that we're going to go to, it's about
like right downtown,
15 minutes from where it actually happened. And it's funny because the messages came at 4:07. So this
yesterday
happened at 2:30 is basically when it happened. And then we realized it at 3. And then we were on the road by like 3:20-ish going down. And we were following the laptop, following the Find My Device. But if this guy is reaching out to us already at 4, and he's further north than where we went, it just is weird. It's like,
unless depending upon where this guy's usually stationed, on the street or whatever, as a police officer, it's further south. But the point is unpleasant that at best, if this is all on the up and up, we can recover the passport. The laptop is still apparently pinging every now and then out in this totally other town that I have been totally unable to sort of figure out where exactly it might be. And it seems likely that there's a good margin of error with the GPS, like Find My Device, because
it could be that it's it could be in the basement. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, I went into a number of houses and and some backyards, and reached the device, and if it's within Wi-Fi or Bluetooth distance of the phone, it would trigger the sound to go. But I was absolutely unable to anywhere around where the thing's supposed to be. But it's apparently still there. And even worse is the hard drive that has all of our stuff, and we've been both neglectful of getting it up into the cloud and also unable for a good amount of time for basically having lousy internet. And so you put it off because it just gets jammed up, because a lot of the places we stay don't have good enough internet to upload.
And so we had planned to do it now while we were here in Santiago, Chile,
hundreds
a big city.
Yeah. When we've got really fast internet. This was the time we were gonna do it.
No.
And this is when we got fucking burned. So that's what's hurting them absolutely the most. So I went back to the sort of second scene of the crime where we had first come yesterday because we got a ping on the laptop, and I handed out some flyers about the hard drive, which of course is a total fool's errand, but you know, you got to feel like you're doing something, and you just never know when the gods are gonna smile upon you. They did not. Instead, they sent me on a goose chase, or a hard drive chase. Some young guys selling stuff on the street in that park sent me down to this market back here, which is just like a real fucking place. And I found nothing. I asked everywhere. It's been probably 3 hours of excitement. So Jess has gone to pick up Whimsy. I am now packing it in because there's nothing else to be done. So I'm picking up coffee for tomorrow and booze for tonight.
Hello, Whimsy. Hey, sweet bear. Look at you all floofy. Whimsy, come here. Come here. Now, down. Hi. I know. Come here. I know. I just picked up Wimple from her doggy daycare sleepaway camp, and she looks great. They gave her a bath, and she's excited. She's excited in general. She was excited to see me for a moment. I got a bunch of scratches, but I think it's more a matter of she's just excited to be out and about. So we're just waiting for our Uber to arrive, and then they're going to take us to our Airbnb, and then she's going to be able to be reunited with Greg. Hi guys, thanks for watching GoRUFFLY in real time. If you love Whimsy's gear, head on over to GoRUFFLY.com and check out our collars, leashes, beds, bandanas, and more for your dog and all the dogs that you know. And if you're interested in the K9 Moto Cockpit, which is how Whimsy rides with me on the back of my motorcycle, you'll get all that information about sizing, mounting, and everything else at GoRUFFLY.com. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and don't forget to subscribe.